Hi, Shane Simpson here to talk about the next daily drumming influences revisited. Yesterday we combined two into one day. It gives us a bonus day today. And today the drummer is Seth Rausch. I've always said Rausch. It might be Rausch. Seth Rausch was a drummer that I first became aware of through Little Big Town, country-ish type band. He later went on to become the drummer for Keith Urban, following Chris McHugh. And Chris McHugh, you'll see, will come up later in the thing. But at the time I made this, I didn't know Seth. But through Chad Brandolini at Vader, he was able to get me, Seth was using the sticks at the time, backstage passes, and I got to meet Seth and hang out, and he was super cool, super gracious, and I got to go on stage and check out his kit and all that kind of stuff with Keith Urban. Later on, when Keith Urban came to Boise, I reached out to Seth, and he came out and came to a Blue Thunder marching band rehearsal, watched the drum line warm up and stuff like that. Later, I went to the show that night at the, was called Taco Bell Arena at that time. Most people like me still call it the Pavilion. I think it's called Extra Mile Arena now. But anyway, I was just really impressed with Seth's drumming because he had a pretty basic setup. A kick, snare, one rack, I believe just one floor. But it was just a really open, solid groove, a little bit more a snaky feel to it than Chris was really driving when he was with Keith Urban. And Seth, it wasn't that he wasn't driving, it just seemed a little bit more open and fat and a little bit more sleek, if you want to call it that. The drum sounds were tremendous. The groove was really, really good. And I can't remember if he had a side snare or not. He might have had some trigger stuff over there, because I know there was a lot of loops and stuff going on back in that era. I still are. But I know that he was one of the first guys that I really saw using the big fat snare drum, which is not a snare drum at all. It's a mylar disc, and they have different patterns that are cut out, some with holes, some with tambourine jingles, all these kind of things that you put on your drums to get different effects. And he would be playing a song, and I saw a rack off to the side that looks like, guitars players always have them with their several guitars in them, and he had these discs, these big fat snare drum mylar disc hanging from there, and he would play something with nothing, then throw one on for a different sound and change it and have a different sound. And that was one of the first times I'd seen somebody really use it a lot, other than just on YouTube and using it for effect. He was actually using it in performance. And it was pretty cool. So I was just really taken by his drumming, and like I said, he was a super nice guy to me. I don't know what he's doing now. Coming out of COVID, I think there was a change with the band, or some of the members and stuff. But he was definitely, really good and really inspiring to watch the groove that he set up playing with Keith Urban. So, and of course with Little Big Town. I never saw him live with Little Big Town, however. I just saw video clips and stuff. So, and he seems to be one of those drummers that's into groove drummers. I brought up the fact that he should check out Mickey Curry. But the drumming influence for the day, it wasn't on the original list because I didn't know him in 2012, but definitely on the list now as an inspirational drummer, Seth Rausch. At the time, from Keith Urban, he's just a Nashville cat, Seth Rausch.